Okochi.
Yes,
He's a husband from Anambra State. Can I prophesy? The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and my eyes. Zotobos. Congratulations.
Jesus.
Muna Chineke akpala ihe dị mma. Muna Chineke akpala ihe dị mma. Ọ dị mma, ihe dị mma. Muna Chineke akpala ihe dị mma. All the mouths that laughed at you. You know when the problem started? It started on your wedding day 2 years ago. Am I talking?
Yes, sir.
2015.
Yes, sir.
December.
Yes, sir.
Is it December?
Yes, sir.
Is it 15th? 5th of December.
Yes, sir.
2015. 15. Is it 2 years ago? Is when?
215.
215.
Yes.
As you received it from her, put it in the house. He started monitoring you. Thank you, Jesus. Is your husband here?
No, sir.
Where is your husband? What church do you attend?
Reading Christian Church of God, sir.
Stop crying. Stop crying. If you enter your house, not your room, that room. Are you there? Let's shout it together. Everybody want to go? Go ahead, everybody, read it again. Want to go? And it shall be. Go ahead, read it again. Want to go? Go to verse 8 and verse 9. Verse 8 and verse 9. Everybody want to go? Verse 8 and verse 9. Verse 8 and verse 9. Arise, get thee to Zarephath. Behold, I have done what? A widow to do what? To sustain thee. Read it again. Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belong to Sidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow. Everybody stretch your two hands towards this altar. Anything that looks like dryness in your life, anything that looks like dryness in your business, anything that looks like dryness in your family, in this service the dryness is over. I didn't hear your amen. I said the dryness is over. I said the dryness is over. I said the dryness is over. I came to decree upon the life of 700 people under the sound of my voice. As I am commanded, I prophesy. When people cry for money, you shall distribute money. When people cry for the economy, you shall be sustained in this economy. When people say things are not working You shall be like they that dream. I decree and prophesy by the mandate of heaven. Anything that looks like dryness in your family, in your destiny, in your business, in your career, life. Recession is good in their body, because in this recession, when people are willing to sell their property, they are the ones buying the property. Am I talking to somebody here?
Yes.
I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
But there are 700 of you.
Yes.
Your breakthrough will bring confusion to your friends.
Yes.
Those of you watching by the television, I decree and prophesy, your breakthrough shall bring confusion to your friends. Anybody that's amen, receive unusual. What I mean is that what has never happened in your lineage, what has never happened in your family, what has never happened in your community, you shall break that record. I am not speaking to excite you. I am telling you what God told me in the place of prayer. He said, when you arrive here, announce to them what has never happened in their generation. They shall break that record. They shall break that record. They shall break that record. What your father could not do, you shall do. What your generation could not do, you shall do. You are not meant to be conquered. You are made more than a conqueror. So greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. You don't serve a dead God. You serve a mighty God. He is the same yesterday. He is the same today. He is the same forever. When God says yes, no man can say no. When God opens a door, no man can close it. When God lifts you up, no man can bring you down. God is on your side. Power is on your side. Glory is on your side. Lift your hands and shout fire. In season and out of season, rivers in the desert. Sir, you know palm kernel, you know palm fruit, palm tree. What's the season that it bears fruit?
All season. All season. All season.
How many seasons? Hey. Hey. Make I talk. You shall be all weather.
Yes.
Make I talk.
Yes.
Make I talk.
Yes.
Make I talk.
Yes.
When they wait for you to fall in the morning, you shall be better that same morning. When they wait for you to fall in the afternoon, you shall be brighter that afternoon. Somebody say, I am all weather.
I am all weather.
The righteous shall flourish, not like a mango tree, not like an ube tree, not like an orange tree. The Bible said the righteous shall flourish like a palm. Why palm tree? Why not any other tree? Why palm tree? The reason is because God wants you to become all weather. In recession, you dey build hotel. In recession, you dey buy cars. In recession, adagamin nakosha. When people are saying this government is otarabo, I don't know how to speak it in English, but this government is what? Otarabo. You are saying this is the best government ever. Yes. Your confession is totally different from the confession of others. Yes. This is when you are flourishing like what? A palm. Why did the Lord use palm tree? I'll tell you 5 reasons. Number 1, the reason why God used palm tree for the righteous. Number 1 reason is that the palm tree has no season in life. Number 2 reason, every other tree receive their food from the ground, but palm tree, as tall as it is, receives its food from the sky. With the presence of chlorophyll in the leaves, it photosynthesizes and attracts its food from the sun. It doesn't come from the down, it comes from above. The reason God said you shall flourish like a palm tree is because your help does not come from around. Your help comes from above. From above, not from around, not from abroad. From where? Ayada da 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 mashanda. Yes. The next person to testify is from your family. Yes. I said the next person to testify is from your family. Yes. 17 of you with a better amen. Receive it. Yes. Another reason why the righteous flourishes like a palm tree. Can I tell you?
Yes.
Number one, what? All weather. Number two, number three reason is because the palm tree does not grow with branches like this. It grows straight. God expects us to be straight. Let our yes be yes, let our no be no. That's why God did not use mango. Mango is like this. Palm tree is straight. My people who are called by my name, they will humble themselves. I will come and heal that. So when you are attached to God, you must be straight. In the season of rivers flowing in your desert, straightforwardness is required. The palm tree is a straight tree. The palm tree cannot deceive another believer. There are believers that deceive other people. Even in business, eat their money. And yet when they come to church, they speak in tongues more than others. You cannot prosper. You can't eat your cake and have it. What you want to be done to you, do to another. That's what the palm tree does. Am I talking to somebody here? Somebody say street life.
Street life.
Somebody say all weather.
All weather.
Somebody say without season.
Without season.
Somebody say help from above.
From above.
The other reason why God used the palm tree is because every other tree are useless, but everything in the palm tree is useful. Everything. The fruit itself is useful. The chaff is useful. The kernel is useful. The mbokoraki is also useful. Even the leaf is used for broom. Even when you cut the palm tree, when it decays, food come out of the inside. So the palm tree is not useless. Even when it decays, that thing that used to work like this. Am I teaching here? Look at your neighbor, say neighbor. Rivers in my desert.
In my desert.
Say rivers in my desert.
In my desert.
Say rivers in my desert.
In my desert.
If you know what you are saying, say amen.
Yes.
Am I talking here?
Yes.
He had no formal education. He had no qualification. Yet he stood before king to prophesy, not because he was a politician, not because he was a senator, but he was carrying prophecy in his mouth. It is either you are a prophet or you are carrying prophecy on your head. All on a prophecy. You know, they hear me. It is either you are a prophet with your mouth or you are carrying prophecy. Who is carrying prophecy on his head here? Who is carrying prophecy on his head here? Stretch your two hands, let me declare.
Yes.
The prophecy on your head will bring you before kings and queens.
Yes.
Lord, if they say a better amen, release it.
Yes.
Now let me shock you, sir. The prophecy in his mouth brought him before the king. In this generation where we live, we don't live in a generation where people assume things. We live in a generation where prophecy can locate you from nowhere and carry you to somewhere. Am I talking to somebody here? The reason Satan is afraid of this generation is because God has poured out his spirit upon all flesh. There is an extravagant release of the Holy Ghost. So before Satan plans, God reveals, and Satan is afraid. This generation will go show devil pepper. Am I communicating here?
Yes.
Somebody say, I have a prophecy on my head.
I have a prophecy on my head.
I want to pray for you and your prophecy. Can I declare?
Yes.
In Zechariah, a prophecy was given about a donkey. He said, a donkey. He said, behold, Zion, behold, your king is coming, riding on a donkey. So that was, he said, what? Put it on the screen for me. Zechariah chapter 2. Put it on the screen. Are you there? Are you in Zechariah? Are you taking my time? Chapter 2, verse 2. Quickly. Let's read it. Is somebody there? Can somebody read for me? Zechariah chapter 2, verse 2. Get a competent hand to handle that thing. Zechariah chapter 2, verse 2. Are you there? Can you read for me? Let me hear. Four verse 2.
What seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a boil upon the top of it, and a 7 lamp thereon.
No. 4 verse what? No, not. Yes. No. That's not what I'm looking for. 4 verse 4. No. No. Behold, your king cometh riding on a horse. Zechariah, we must get it before we proceed. Pastors are more than 200 here. I must not know everything, so some people will know some. 9 verse 9. Rejoice greatly, oh daughters, see your stomach, oh daughters of Zion,
O daughters of Jerusalem,
oh daughters of Jerusalem,
behold thy king,
behold thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt with a foal of an ass. So this is Zechariah. But this prophecy did not come to pass until after 800 years. The colt that was prophesied here was the same colt that Jesus told 2 disciples, go into the city, you shall see a colt that was tied. Now excuse me, if Satan can fight the prophecy over an animal, then Satan can kill himself for a prophecy over a human being. Ordinary animal, Satan couldn't fight in prophecy. 800 years it did not come to pass. Even when the prophecy was about to happen, Satan went and tied it. Tied it. Anything that has delayed your prophecy, Jesus, I decree upon their lives. Anything you have spoken about them, and there is a delay in their life, I decree and prophesy, let that delay be terminated. Shout that amen 7 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at me. Prophecies can never be aborted, but they can be delayed. Satan has no right to clean what has been written. He can only bring a covering upon it. In Revelation chapter 5 verse 1, when Jesus, when Adabasha, hold on, take this off, take this off, take this off. Look at this. In Revelation chapter 5 verse 1, put it on the screen for me. Ayadabashata. Revelation 5:1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a scroll which had writing inside and outside, sealed. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. Now look at me, everybody. Who was writing this? Apostle John, right? John was a man they tried to kill. They did everything to kill John. They couldn't kill him. They brought knife. What the leader of the army, his name was Nero, took it. He was a 2-star general. Tried to cut off his neck. The knife bent. God made his neck to become an iron. They took him and they tried everything, they could not. They called the woman that fries industrial bombs and they said, bring us your big pots, bring us your gas. They joined gases together and they boiled the oil. It was boiling and they carried John to fry him like akara. When John entered the pot, the hot oil that was boiling became an ice water and he could not boil, and they waited for him until the oil dried and nothing happened. When they brought him out, somebody said, let us throw him into an island that is filled with ferocious animals. It is called the island of Patimios. He would die there, no friend, nobody. So they carried John inside the boat. When they got close to the island, they flinged him into the island. When he landed the island, instead of the animals to eat him, all the animals went on transfer. Every animal, none was there. Now look at this. But because there was no friend, there was nobody to talk to, no food, he should start seeing revelation immediately so that he can write quick. Am I right? Am I communicating? Because the more he wastes time, the more he stays in hunger. But to my greatest surprise, he stayed the whole of chapter 1. There was no revelation. Read Revelation chapter 1, is empty. Chapter 2, empty. Chapter 3, empty. In chapter 4, he started seeing things like the cherub, the heavens. The one, he said, I saw a man with a wool. He said it's like wool. He said, that's not why they brought him there. They brought him to write things that will happen before and after the coming of Christ. The teachings on eschatology. That's why he was brought to the island to write. But he could not see anything. In chapter 5, verse 1, you know what happened? He saw a book that had writing inside and outside, but sealed with 7 seals. Sir, everything John was supposed to write was inside the book, but the book was closed and sealed. That was why when he saw the book, the next thing he did was to cry and weep. Why am I wasting my time to get revelation while all I need to write is by my side, but it has been closed? So Satan cannot change what is written. Satan can only close and place a seal. That is the delay. That is delay. That is delay. When you see a man going through delay, it doesn't mean what is written is no longer there. It is there, but it has been closed. It has been sealed. Any seal upon your prophecy, I stand on this altar and I prophesy. I travel to the womb of the day your prophecy was given. I travel to the womb of the day the prophecy was spoken. Any seal on your prophecy, let it be broken. 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 I open your prophecy. I open your prophecy. I open your prophecy. I open your prophecy. You now serve a dead God. You serve a mighty God. He's the same yesterday. He's the same today. He's the same forever. Somebody say open. Hey! Look at me. Satan fought the prophecy on an animal. Satan has time. Satan has too much time on an animal. Fighting prophecy. So he can fight the one on your head. He can kill himself over that thing. When God says your child is coming, it's not time to go and sleep. It's a time to fight. Because between your prophecy and your fulfillment is a fighting period. Don't go and relax because pastor has said I will marry this year. And you go and relax. You start doing anyhow. Prophecy is waiting for me. Satan will seal it. It cannot be aborted because it was spoken by God. Whatever God has said, no man can change. How do I know? When they wanted to kill Jesus, they carried Jesus and they placed him on the cross. They were nailing the cross. Some men came. They said, we want to mock this guy. He said, what do you want to do? He said, let's get something and write something. They brought something and wrote the King of the Jews as a mockery. And they kept it on the cross. When they lifted the cross, they expected the whole crowd to mock him. But instead, they began to hail him, King of the Jews. You are truly our king. We are sorry they are killing you, King of the Jews. Those that wrote it say we made a mistake. They went back to the priest and they said, permit us to bring down the cross and change what we wrote. And Pilate replied them, what is written is. So anything God has written, no man can change. No man. No bagger, kalumenete, epetete. No man can change it. Somebody say no man. Quack your neighbor. Say no devil.
No devil.
Say no native doctor. Say they no born and well. No man. Let me shock you. You know what Jesus said? Put that scripture, Matthew chapter 21. See what Jesus said. That Jesus sent 2 disciples. He said, go into the city. No, he said, go into the village. He didn't say the city. They don't tie people in the city, they tie them in the village. Put it, let me see. That Matthew. Say unto them, go thee into the where? Did he say city? So you can be in the city, but you are tied in the village. Say, go to the village which is over and against you. 2 things villages do is that villages are over people. Number 2, villages are against people. Villages are not for people. They are over you, meaning they overpower you. Number 2, they are against you. Go to the village which is over and against you, and straight away you shall find an ass tied and a colt tied. Now listen, let me shock you. This is a representation of a human being. I thought Jesus would say lose it and bring it. Some versions say lose him. I say lose them. So they are using the cult as a representation to tie a human being in the tizzy. Am I speaking here? Lose him. Lose them and bring them to me. If any man ask you, tell him he is for the master's use. So you can be in the city and they tie one thing in the village and they say it's for you. That devil is a liar. I went to preach for a pastor one day. As I was preaching, I turned to the pastor. I was preaching. The pastor that invited me, I turned to him. I said, sir, I saw a goat inside him. I said, sir, you are a goat. I said, sorry, I didn't know when it came out of my mouth. I said, I'm sorry, sir. No, I mean there's a goat I see. The pastor's face changed. I left him. I continued preaching. When I came close to him, I saw the goat again. I said, sir, sorry, I'm still seeing that goat. I realized he's my host. His face changed. I was thinking, I realized that the mic, they told them to turn down the mic. So I was now shouting and stressing my voice. But I kept on seeing the goat. When we dismissed, he brought me into the office. He said, why you go, they call me goat for my church? What nonsense. I invited you. I said, sir, I'm sorry, you are a goat. He said, have you joined them? I said, sir, as they talk, I hear the voice of a goat. And I said, and when my face changed, he knew I was not joking. He said, really? I said, yes. He said, what do we do? I said, let's pray. I said, how? I said, let's do fasting. 7 days. You fast, I fast. Every day, call me, let's pray together and break the fast. He said, okay, sir. We did the prayer the first day, second day, third day, fourth day. On the 5th day, he was in his house. His uncle came from the village by 11 in the night, knocked at the door. They opened the door. As soon as he entered, he opened the door, he entered. He said, uncle, by this time, why, what happened? The uncle said, the goat, which goat, uncle? Oh, no worry, sorry, no, I went somewhere, so he was not late. I said, let me come, and he now used another thing and talked. So they said, okay, uncle, please, whatever it is, you have to go and shower, eat, and rest. In the morning we can talk. So when the uncle went to the room to shower and all that, he entered his room and remembered I talked about a goat. Remember, the uncle said the goat. He came out and entered the uncle's room, hooked him. Tell me about the goat. From the day of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God suffered violence, and only the violence. Tell me about the goat. He said, sorry, good, calm down. I will kill you. Tell me about the goat. The uncle began to talk. He said, when I gave birth to you, when they gave birth to you, when your father was still alive, when you were some months, went to a native doctor, and the native doctor told me that your destiny was so large and that of my son was rubbish. And so I asked him what to do. He said, I should change the destiny. So I took your poo-poo to the native doctor and took that of my son. There was an exchange. So the native doctor gave me a small goat. So when I took your destiny and gave my son, I took my son's destiny. The doctor said I should put it inside that small goat. So I put it in the goat. So and the native doctor said, don't allow the goat to die on his own. When the goat grows and gets old, I will transfer it from that old goat to a younger goat, and I will kill the goat. So he said, I've been doing it since you were small, and I've been killing many goats. He said, but just yesterday we were sleeping. In the night we had the goat crying in the backyard. I didn't go out, but when I came out in the morning, the goat was dead on his own, and which is wrong from what the man told me. He said, Chukwemekasa, but as I speak to you, my son who is in Canada, I got a call today that he's misbehaving. I don't know what to do. Please forgive me. Hey! He took the phone and called me. He said, man of God, the goat has manifested. Who is that devil Satan has used to lock up your life? As you step out of this door, recover all you have lost. Sir, that man of God had a good church. There were not too many, but they were good, at least sizable. Had people, but nobody gives him a dime. He lacked favor. He will pray for people, they'll become something in the politics. They'll leave the church and go somewhere else and do Thanksgiving. He will travel to go and preach with his friends. They will give his friends cars, cash, and they will give him prophetic handshake. Man of God, that was heavy. That was very heavy. God bless you. That was heavy. That's all he was getting. He was so anointed, so prophetic, yet something tied his life. Any altar that tied you, any altar that tied your father, any altar that tied your mother, any altar that tied your children, as you shout fire 21 times, I travel to that altar and I decree they are terminated. Shout fire number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 1 and lose you. His name is Jesus. He is the comforter. He is the provider. He is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He that was, he that is, and he that is to come. There are 17 of you. They have tied you somewhere. You will shout Jesus 7 times. At the 7th word, the power of God shall begin to lose any man, any woman. Power. Holy Ghost. Where are those 7 people? Their destiny is bigger than my own. Anywhere they are, let your power locate them. Oh yeah. That's number 1 here. Here, Lord Shatala. Power of the Holy Ghost. Power of the Holy Ghost. Power of the Holy Ghost. Ushers, help them. Power is here. I use you. Recover. Lift your hands. There are 6 people. Jesus, your destiny, your miracle has been released, but there is something that has tied you somewhere, and that thing is hanging on your head, and that miracle has been there for 6 years, some of you for 4 years. Now the Lord said to me, in 24 hours you shall receive the miracle in your life. Holy Ghost, where are those 6? You want to release the miracle in 24 hours. Let your power break every blanket, carry their miracle. 1, 2, 3, power, loose. Ushers, help them. Power is here. Banana mashanda baha. Kulele kos. Da barulia nekule prelente tinakin kalonte. Jatata gadagagi agas. Zita la baroje. Jele de denge behes. Holy Spirit.